When you begin to understand the true power of detachment, you'll see that it isn't about coldness, cruelty, or indifference. It's not about pretending you don't care when you actually do. No, real detachment is something far deeper, something that radiates confidence in a way that is almost impossible to ignore. Men are instinctively drawn to women who carry themselves with a sense of assurance, who aren't frantic about outcomes, and who don't desperately seek external validation. It's as if they have tapped into an inner reservoir of calm, a quiet power that communicates, "I am enough, whether you stay or whether you leave." That's the kind of confidence that doesn't need to be shouted, because it's already present in the way you move, the way you speak, the way you live. You see, the more a woman detaches from the endless hunger for approval, the more she frees herself from the prison of insecurity. Think about it. If your self-worth depends on the attention of a man, you will always be at his mercy. If he texts you, you're happy. If he doesn't, you spiral. That volatility is exhausting, not only for you but also for him. But when you detach from that cycle, when your confidence comes from within and not from whether someone chooses to notice you, you send a very different message. You tell the world that you cannot be broken by silence, you cannot be diminished by rejection, and you cannot be defined by whether someone desires you in a given moment. That's when men start to notice you differently, not as someone they can toy with, but as someone they must respect. And here's the paradox. The less you need that validation, the more validation you end up receiving. Because confidence is magnetic, detachment says, "I am whole already, I don't need you to complete me." And that declaration, even unspoken, is profoundly attractive. A woman who carries that truth inside of her doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't cling. She moves gracefully, knowing her worth is not up for negotiation. That kind of posture draws men in because it signals strength. It signals stability. It signals that being with her is not about filling a void, but about sharing abundance. Now think about how rare this really is. In a world where so many people are scrambling to be noticed, where desperation has become the norm, detachment is a radical act. It's a refusal to play the game of neediness. It's the confidence to say, "I will not lose myself just to keep you." And that refusal makes men lean forward, because it sets you apart. You are not like the rest. You are not grasping at straws, trying to hold someone's attention at any cost. You are calm, steady, and centered, and men can feel that. They may not be able to put it into words, but they sense the strength behind it. This is why detachment radiates confidence so powerfully. It's not about being aloof. It's about knowing who you are at the deepest level and refusing to compromise that truth for anyone. It's about understanding that you don't have to perform to be worthy, you don't have to chase to be chosen, and you don't have to hold on tightly to keep love in your life. In fact, the tighter you cling, the faster it slips away. But when you let go, when you stand firm in your own value, you create the conditions for real desire to flourish. Men are not just attracted to beauty. They are attracted to strength, not just to charm, but to self-possession. Detachment communicates both without a single word, and the woman who embodies that will never have to plead for attention, because her very presence commands it. That is the kind of confidence that cannot be faked, and it is the kind that lasts. So remember this. The most magnetic quality you can possess is the courage to remain whole, even in the presence of someone you deeply desire. Because when you can do that, you will never have to chase love. Love will chase you. There's something profoundly powerful about mystery. It's not about playing games or hiding who you are, but about refusing to give everything away all at once. When a woman holds something back, when she allows herself to be seen slowly, layer by layer, she creates an atmosphere that draws men in almost unconsciously. Men are captivated by the unknown, by the sense that there is more to discover, more to understand, more to experience. And that sense of mystery fuels desire far more than constant availability ever could. Consider this: when someone places everything on the table immediately, the intrigue dies quickly. There's no anticipation, no discovery, no adventure. But when you reveal yourself with patience, when you allow your story, your depth, your thoughts to unfold gradually, you stir curiosity. You ignite imagination, and in relationships, imagination is not a small thing. It is the fire that sustains attraction. Men are not only attracted to what they see, but to what they feel might be waiting beneath the surface. Mystery tells them there is a journey to be taken, and journeys are infinitely more compelling than destinations. The danger many women fall into is confusing openness with overexposure. They think that by telling everything, showing everything, giving everything immediately, they'll win affection. But in truth, that approach often smothers attraction, because attraction needs air to breathe. It needs space. It needs the thrill of pursuit. Mystery is that space. It allows a man to wonder, to lean in, to invest. And ironically, it is in that wondering, in that gradual discovery, that desire grows strongest. Mystery isn't manipulation, it's discipline. It's the discipline to hold back enough of yourself so that your presence remains compelling. It's the understanding that your value is not diminished by restraint, but magnified by it. Think about some of the most captivating figures in history or literature, those who left something unsaid, something unexplained. They commanded fascination not because they revealed everything, but because they didn't. That's the same principle at work here. Now, notice what happens when a woman embraces this. She doesn't rush to prove herself. She doesn't anxiously overshare to keep someone interested. Instead, she rests in the confidence that her depth cannot be uncovered in a single conversation or a single evening. She trusts that the right man will want to invest the time and energy to discover her fully, and in doing so, she creates a dynamic where he is drawn in, compelled to know more, eager to stay. That eagerness, that pull, is what keeps desire alive. Mystery is also a form of respect for yourself and for the relationship. When you guard your inner world carefully, you send a signal that your essence is not something cheaply given. It must be earned, step by step, moment by moment. Men respect what requires effort. They value what they must pursue. And when your presence embodies that, you set yourself apart. You become not just another option, but a rare experience, one worth holding on to. And here's the deeper truth. Mystery is not about withholding love or hiding forever. It's about pacing. It's about allowing the relationship to grow organically, rather than rushing it into artificial intensity. Desire is born from the tension between what is known and what is yet to be discovered. If you give away everything immediately, you collapse that tension. If you honor the process and let things unfold, you cultivate it. This is why mystery fuels desire so relentlessly. It is the spark that keeps the fire alive. It's the reason some connections fade quickly and others burn brighter with time. Because desire is not just about what's present, it's about what's promised, what's hinted at, what remains just out of reach. So understand this. When you allow yourself to be a mystery, you are not being distant, you are being wise. You are allowing space for curiosity to grow, for pursuit to flourish, and for attraction to deepen. And in that space, men do not lose interest. They become captivated, because what they cannot fully grasp, they cannot stop chasing. When a woman carries herself with genuine value, it is unmistakable. It's not about arrogance, nor is it about flaunting status or possessions. It's about the inner knowledge that you are worthy, and that worth does not hinge on anyone's opinion of you. High value is something that can't be faked for long because it comes from within. It comes from how you treat yourself, how you set boundaries, how you choose what you will and will not accept. And when a woman lives in alignment with that sense of worth, it signals strength to everyone around her, especially to men. Men are instinctively drawn to strength, though not the kind that competes with them or tries to dominate them. They are drawn to the strength of self, possession, of discipline, of quiet dignity. A woman of high value doesn't chase. She doesn't beg for attention. She doesn't lose herself in the process of trying to please someone else. Instead, she stands rooted, clear about who she is, unwavering in her standards. That steadiness communicates to a man that she is not fragile, that she cannot be easily broken, and that she is not dependent on his validation to feel whole. That quality alone creates attraction on a level far deeper than surface beauty ever could. And think about what this strength really means in practical terms. It means that when she says yes, it is from a place of choice, not desperation. When she walks away, it is from conviction, not fear. When she invests her time, it is intentional, not careless. Every action comes from a place of self-respect, and that commands respect in return. Men might test boundaries, consciously or unconsciously, but when they encounter a woman who will not compromise her value just to be liked, they feel both challenged and captivated. Because she is not easily swayed, she cannot be manipulated, and she cannot be reduced to an option. There's a profound dignity in this posture. It signals to the world, I know what I bring, and I won't diminish it for anyone. That's not pride, it's strength. It's the strength that comes from having walked through struggle, from having learned self-control, from understanding that love is meaningful only when it comes freely, not when it is coerced. A woman who embodies high value doesn't need to prove it loudly. It's evident in her tone, her body language, her choices. Men feel it the moment they meet her, and that feeling lingers. Now, many confuse being of high value with being unapproachable, but that's not it at all. High value isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's knowing you can be kind without being a pushover, generous without being exploited, loving without being consumed. That balance is incredibly rare, and it's why it stands out so sharply. Men crave that steadiness because it represents something they can trust. And trust is the foundation of true attraction. The truth is, when you live as a hive, you woman, you're not only signaling strength, you're embodying it. You're reminding others and yourself that love is not something you beg for. It's something you attract by being whole. Men admire beauty, yes, but they are profoundly moved by resilience, dignity, and self-respect. Those are the qualities that last long after looks fade, long after novelty wears off. So hold your standards high, not because you're trying to keep others out, but because you're honoring yourself. And when you do, you'll notice something remarkable. The right men won't be intimidated by your strength. They'll be inspired by it, drawn to it, and compelled to rise to meet it. Because in the presence of true value, there is no room for games, only for genuine connection. And that kind of connection is the only one worth keeping. There is something profoundly rare and deeply attractive about emotional stability. In a world where so many people are quick to overreact, quick to panic, quick to collapse under pressure, encountering someone who is steady feels like a breath of fresh air. For men, this steadiness in a woman is magnetic. It signals a strength that is not loud or aggressive, but calm, centered, and unwavering. Emotional stability does not mean you never feel deeply or that you suppress your emotions. It means you don't allow them to govern you, to drag you into chaos, or to dictate your worth. It means you can experience the storm without becoming the storm. When a woman demonstrates that kind of balance, men notice immediately. Because instability is draining. It demands constant reassurance, constant management, and constant sacrifice of peace. Stability, on the other hand, brings life. It creates space for trust, for relaxation, for genuine connection. A man feels safer with a woman who doesn't spiral every time something goes wrong, who doesn't cling desperately when uncertainty arises, and who doesn't lash out when she feels afraid. That doesn't mean she's passive. It means she responds with maturity instead of reacting with volatility. That steadiness is what makes her magnetic, because it stands out in contrast to the noise and drama so common in modern relationships. And notice how this works. Emotional stability is not about being detached from reality. It's about being anchored in it. It's the ability to say, I can feel hurt, but I will not let that pain consume me. I can feel love, but I will not lose myself in it. I can feel fear, but I will not be ruled by it. That kind of discipline creates confidence, both in yourself and in those around you. A man who sees this knows he is not stepping into a minefield. He knows he can trust the relationship to stand, not because life will be easy, but because she has the strength to meet difficulties without collapsing. And this stability is not something that can be faked. It comes from doing the inner work, from healing, from learning to regulate your emotions instead of being controlled by them. It comes from deciding that your peace of mind is worth more than temporary highs and lows, that your self-respect is more important than winning an argument, and that your dignity is not something you are willing to sacrifice for fleeting validation. A woman who embodies this communicates strength in silence. She doesn't need to explain it, her actions reveal it. Now, think about what this means in attraction. Men are drawn to beauty, yes, but beauty without stability quickly loses its shine. If every day is chaos, no amount of charm can make up for the exhaustion it creates. But a woman who is stable, who remains graceful under pressure, who holds herself with poise in the face of conflict, she becomes unforgettable. That balance of emotion and control creates a presence that men not only admire but crave. Because in that steadiness, they see not only a partner but a refuge, someone who can share life's burdens without magnifying them. The paradox is that emotional stability actually deepens passion, because it creates safety. And when a man feels safe, when he knows he won't be punished for every misstep or drowned by constant chaos, he opens up more. He invests more. He desires more. That's the irony. By not being consumed by your emotions, you actually allow the relationship to feel more alive. So understand this clearly. Emotional stability isn't about suppressing who you are. It's about mastering yourself so that your emotions serve you rather than enslave you. And when you carry that kind of mastery, you don't have to demand respect or chase love. You become the kind of woman whose very presence commands it. Because in a world full of volatility, the one who remains steady will always be the one who shines the brightest. Freedom is one of the most powerful signals of strength. And when a woman embodies it, respect follows naturally. This freedom is not about rejecting love or intimacy. It is about refusing to be imprisoned by it. It is the freedom that comes from knowing you can stand on your own 2 feet, that your identity and your happiness do not live or die by someone else's choices. When a woman carries that kind of independence, she immediately shifts the dynamic. Men recognize it instinctively because it tells them she is not clinging, not desperate, not willing to lose herself just to keep them close. And that self-possession commands respect in a way nothing else can. Consider what happens in the opposite situation. A woman who ties her entire sense of worth to a man's presence ends up suffocating the very connection she longs to preserve. She becomes reactive, anxious, and controlling, trying to hold on so tightly that the relationship begins to crumble under the pressure. That neediness doesn't inspire love, it erodes it. But when she can release that grip, when she communicates through her actions that she values her freedom too much to be enslaved by insecurity, the relationship shifts. Suddenly there is breathing room. Suddenly there is trust. And trust is the soil in which respect grows. Freedom doesn't mean keeping walls up forever. It means you have your own life, your own passions, your own path. It means you can love fully without becoming dependent, and you can give generously without feeling depleted. Men are not drawn to women who lose themselves in the relationship. They are drawn to women who remain whole inside of it. That wholeness creates balance. It says, I choose to be here, but I do not need to be here. And that difference makes all the difference. Because what is chosen freely is always valued more highly than what feels desperate or coerced. Now, think about the kind of respect this generates. A man confronted with a woman who will not compromise her freedom cannot help but step up. He knows he cannot manipulate her with silence or control her with attention. He knows she will not tolerate games or settle for being treated as less than she deserves. That knowledge creates accountability. It makes him more careful, more intentional, more willing to earn her presence rather than take it for granted. Freedom, in this way, acts as a boundary that protects her dignity, while at the same time elevating the quality of the connection. And here's the paradox. The more freedom a woman embodies, the more a man wants to give her his commitment. Because freedom doesn't push him away, it draws him closer. It awakens his pursuit, his desire to win her loyalty not because she clings, but because she doesn't. He recognizes that she is whole without him, and that makes him want to be worthy of being chosen by her. It transforms the relationship from one of dependency to one of respect and mutual growth. There is a certain serenity in knowing that you could walk away if you needed to, but you choose not to. That serenity radiates strength. It shows that your love is not born of fear, but of courage. It shows that your presence is not owed, but offered. And it's that offering, given freely, that men respect the most, so never underestimate the power of your freedom. It is not a barrier to intimacy. It is the very thing that makes intimacy meaningful. When you carry yourself with independence, when you refuse to lose yourself in the shadow of someone else, you create respect without demanding it. And in that respect, desire deepens, love grows stronger, and connection becomes real. Because the truth is simple. The woman who values her freedom will always be the woman whose presence is valued most. It may sound contradictory at first, but detachment actually strengthens connection. People often assume that closeness comes from holding on tightly, from making sure the other person never slips away, from constant checking, constant presence, constant proof of love. But the reality is, clinging does not build closeness, it suffocates it. When a woman can detach, when she gives space for a man to move, to breathe, to pursue, she allows the relationship to grow naturally. And in that freedom, connection deepens. Think about the difference between water held in an open hand and water clenched in a fist. In the open hand, the water rests easily, calmly. In the fist, it escapes, slipping through the cracks no matter how tightly you try to hold it. Love and connection are the same. The tighter you grip, the faster it withers. But when you loosen your hold and trust in your own worth, something remarkable happens. The other person is drawn closer, not pushed away. Detachment is not the death of intimacy, it is the condition that allows it to breathe. Men are wired to pursue, to invest, to lean forward when something captures their attention. But when everything is given too easily, when there's no space left, the drive to pursue fades. Detachment restores that balance. It tells him, without words, that you don't need to be filled by his presence, you are already whole. And paradoxically, that's what makes him want to give more. A woman who does not cling allows a man to choose her freely. And chosen love, not forced love, is the only kind that lasts. And this detachment does not mean distance or coldness. It doesn't mean refusing to care or withdrawing affection. It means you do not let fear run the show. It means you do not make every small action of his into a test of your worth. You love, but you do not beg. You give, but you do not deplete yourself. You open yourself to connection, but you do not chain yourself to the outcome. That balance is powerful because it creates a dynamic where two people meet as equals, both free, both whole, both capable of walking away, but choosing not to. And in that choice lies true intimacy. Men feel this deeply. They may not articulate it, but they sense when a woman is with them because she wants to be, not because she needs to be. They sense the difference between love that is desperate and love that is deliberate, and it changes how they show up. It inspires them to give more, to invest more, because they know her affection is not bought cheaply. It is offered freely, and freedom always makes what is given more valuable. This is why relationships built on detachment often last longer and feel stronger. They are not built on a foundation of fear or control, but on respect and freedom. Both people can breathe, both people can grow, and both people can trust that the bond is real because it survives without chains. Detachment ensures that love is not smothered by insecurity, but nourished by choice. So let go of the illusion that grasping harder will make someone stay. It won't. What makes them stay is the knowledge that you don't need them, but you still choose them. That is the highest form of love, one that is rooted not in fear, but in strength. And when you embody that strength, you discover a truth that changes everything. The less you cling, the deeper the connection becomes. Because nothing is more magnetic than the freedom to walk away, coupled with the decision to stay. At the heart of everything we've explored, there lies a simple but powerful truth. Men are deeply attracted to women who are whole, grounded, and unwilling to lose themselves in the pursuit of approval. Detachment is not about withdrawing love, but about embodying strength, self-respect, and balance. It is about radiating confidence, allowing mystery to spark desire, carrying yourself with undeniable value, offering stability in a chaotic world, protecting your freedom, and creating deeper bonds by refusing to cling. Each of these qualities is not something you perform for others. They are born when you choose to honor yourself first. And when you live this way, attraction ceases to be something you chase. It becomes something you naturally command. In the end, the woman who refuses to compromise her worth is the one who not only captivates men, but also builds connections rooted in respect, desire, and enduring love.